Hello and welcome to No Rest for the Weekend. I'm Jason Godbey, and today on the program, we're going to be talking about some films from this year's Brooklyn Horror Film Festival. But first, here's a brief word from our sponsors.
Brought to you by BlackMagic Design, the world's highest quality products for the feature film, post and broadcast industries. BlackMagicDesign.com, the Tonkawa Film Festival, celebrating short films from around the world. Tonkawafilmfestival.com. And by Dehancer. Use the promo code RABBIT to receive 10% off Dehancer products. Dehancer.com.
And joining me now in the studio, he's our horror correspondent. It's Mr. Yasin Lago. Welcome back, brother.
Happy belated Halloween at this point. Hello, folks.
Yes, we're actually recording this on Halloween, but this won't come out until after Halloween.
Yes.
But it's very fitting to talk about some horror pictures.
Absolutely.
And you are our boots on the ground this year.
Yeah, it was a mix of boots on the ground and some screeners. But for the most part, yeah, the festival is very cool because it's very much a community situation. Not only are there movies shown and parties thrown every night, interesting enough, they also had this year, to not be funny, they literally had a blood drive where they, which I thought was awesome. They had, as well as community artists, putting up their best, and they had some makeup tutorials, and then there were some talks. There were some sort of kind of seminars on the psychology of zombie movies and this sort of stuff. There was also a special presentation. There was a special showing of the Tales from the Crypts Demon Night from many years ago. I'm not going to date myself because I saw it in the movies. And a special award was given to Ernest Dickerson.
The great Ernest Dickerson.
The great filmmaker. If you don't know, if the only thing he ever done was Candyman, he would have still been great.
All right, so we don't have a lot of time, but let's get into the movies. And we do have some stuff up on the YouTube page already. Like we have the talkback from Queens of the Dead. We've got your interview with Mickey Reese running, so people can check that stuff out as well. But you saw these movies. We want to give them a good review. What's your first movie that you saw?
Well, let's start off with the movie that started the festival, and that would be Queens of the Dead. The first feature by Tina Romero.
This is her first feature?
This is her first official. This is her first feature, I was going to
Wow.
say. But she's worked on a bunch of things for years. She has been, since, and I forget when Lands of the Dead, she has credits that go all the way back, because, and in case some of you didn't catch the name, she is the daughter of George A. Romero, the horror master who I want to say revolutionized, really, and started, kind of jump-started the zombie genre, and sort of created this whole thing that people have been.
You don't get Walking Dead without George Romero.
References somewhere in there. You have to, because he, Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, they're just
Classics.
Let's get into it, because she basically, with her first movie, is going to take on, as I see it, two legacies. And that one is getting into filmmaking, in the shadow of really a major filmmaker like George Romero, and getting into the zombie genre business, which is, to say the least, oversaturated.
Right.
We've gone through many different versions of the zombie, but as it turns out, not one that necessarily represents the LGBTQ community, culture and all. It really is. It's sort of a half love letter to the New York club scene, the LGBTQ community, the culture, and to her father, because there are references, to Pittsburgh, and a lot of the zombie stuff, a lot of the stuff that you saw in his movies. With that said, wholly original, extremely funny. When it's time to zombie, they don't hold back. Your favorite characters, quite a few of them are going to get chomped on. They're going to get eaten. It's funny and snarky, but you get to a point where you will come across some characters that you will find, oh, wait a minute, I am emotionally invested in that guy. I am emotionally invested in them. No,
Not that guy.
Not her.
I like him.
So, yeah, when you start going through the cast, you start to realize there are a bunch of people in this movie. Let me just go through just a few of them. Jack L. Spivey, who some may know from Mean Girls, the newer incarnation. Katie O'Brien.
We interviewed her at Newfest,
Yeah.
and we talked about a little bit about this movie, and she's also in Christie.
Yes.
She is an upcoming star.
Absolutely. If we ever have a show of the top 10 people to look out for, Katie O'Brien is on, at the very least, my top 10. I'm thinking it right now.
She's been in
my
like
top
5 movies this year alone.
This is her third attempt at the zombie genre.
Right, because she's in Walking Dead as well.
She's in Walking Dead, and she's in, I want to say, Z Nation.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So she knows. She's
a zombie veteran.
She's a zombie veteran. She's Marvel official. She's been on both Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and she was in the last Ant-Man movie. Quantumania, so kind of wasted. Sorry, folks. Please do not write in the comments. She's all over the place, rightfully so, deserves more. Love the fact that she can be in something like Christie that's very dramatic and yet do something on a horror comedy level and not flinch. She's great.
Yeah, and this movie, it, like her, sort of bridges because you got the queer films, because this movie also played at Newfest. It played at Tribeca. We couldn't catch it there, and then we were able to catch it here, but it also played at Newfest and toward the end of the festival. So it was kind of playing across town from each other. Yeah. The queer audience is also a huge horror audience. Like,
yes.
That's a sort of an untapped community. Like, yes. And there's been many films that deal with it sort of subliminally or in a coded fashion, but it's really interesting that this is like this. It looks like this movie sort of epitomizes both of those things.
There's a lot of things within the genre that can be sort of metaphors and representative of the experience. So let's go on. There are so many people. Cheyenne Jackson shows up in this. Jack Haven from I Saw the TV Glow. Ricky Lindholm, she's in this one. Margaret Cho. And her entrance is fantastic. I will say nothing else. She is awesome. She continues to be awesome. And also a special guest appearance by the one and only Tom Savini.
Ah, the great makeup artist.
If anybody in horror knows anything about horror, you know the name Tom Savini, the great makeup artist.
And occasional actor. He was also in Dusk Till Dawn.
He does quite a bit of acting. For somebody who's very much in behind the scenes, he's directed 1 or 2 movies that horror fans should absolutely look up. We'll get into him another time.
I can imagine Tina Romero grew up with Tom Savini.
Absolutely. A lot of her credits are on his set. So she learned, not only filmmaking, but the best of guerrilla filmmaking. So let's get into and I don't even want to spoil too much because there's not too much to spoil. Basically, there's a drag show happening in Brooklyn. There's quite a few things happening. It's
and
New
this
York
is set
City.
Present day, right?
It's set present day,
okay.
New York City, Brooklyn. Katie O'Brien's character is a talent manager, and she's putting together a showcase, a drag show that had fallen apart at one point. And so now she's finally put it back together and ready to show it off. Meanwhile, a frenemy of hers, who's a big influencer online, has got a party down the block, and so they're worried about how much of the audience is going to be at one party as opposed to the other. The people at the club that she's having the showcase are not helpful whatsoever. She has to work with her brother-in-law, who is let's just say not homophobic, but right right there. He's crude as all hell. So she doesn't have a whole lot of options, trying to figure out how can this thing go off without it, completely falling apart. And then the zombie apocalypse
Right.
happens.
Everything falls apart.
And then everything falls apart. And it turns into a survivalist movie, while at the same time tapping into every sort of like cliche and just kicking it right in its privates,
Yeah.
left and right. It's a fun movie, and with a few new twists here and there, stuff that you maybe had alluded to in other movies, but they didn't get into. And then like, well, this one, it's like, oh, well, let's just lean in heavy on it,
Right.
and her zombies are glittery. Let's just get that right off. There's going to be a few people. Oh no, not Twilight glittery, but
Right.
the makeup where her father's were green, hers are a little glittery green.
All right. So what do we got next?
The next one is Every Heavy Thing by writer and director Mickey Reese. This guy comes, he's straight out of Oklahoma, calling him the Soderbergh of the sticks. And for folks who are like, wait a minute, Mickey Reese, Mickey Reese has been around for years now. He is one of these independent filmmakers who very quietly, very modestly puts out a movie every year. They all tap into different genres. He seems to have this thing in his movies where a good part of the movie is in going in one direction, and then halfway through the movie, it just makes a hard left turn right off the highway and into a whole new neighborhood. Filmmaking that you don't really see too much anymore. The idea of I'm taking chances, and then I'm going to take a chance with the chance. So Every Heavy Thing. It's about a newspaper ad seller. Very, boring job in a Silicon Valley type nondescript city. I think it's called Hightown City. In town, there are disappearances of women happening across town. The first scene lets you know that it is more than just disappearances. The ad seller at work, who's got a very ordinary life. He's got a girlfriend who's harboring a little bitty secret of her own. Parents who are sort of oblivious to they allude that they're sort of a little MAGA, and they're sort of which he's not really. And he's doing a pretty basic slow job at a very slow newspaper. One of his friends invites him out to go see a new singer that's in town. The singer, played by horror queen Barbara Crampton.
Oh wow, Barbara Crampton's in it.
Who appears in, and this for fans, for genre fans, if you're a Brian De Palma fan, if you're a David Lynch fan, she shows up and her scene is plucked straight out of Blue Velvet. She does the whole blue outfit. She's on stage. And it's marvelous. It's fantastic.
Wow. Okay. My hat is off.
Oh, you'll love it. And then something drastic happens and changes the whole direction of the movie. And the ad seller is suddenly put in a position where he is a witness to a crime and is forced to hold the information, because the killer not only has seen him but has revealed himself, and he's a big tech magnet,
Like a tech bro kind of guy.
He's a big tech bro, a CEO, and he's he is responsible, I should say, for the disappearances. And so he tells this guy, "You're a witness to this crime now, and you're a part of it. Because
You're an
a
accessory.
witness, you're an accessory. And so now you got to sit and hold it." And so the movie then follows Joe as he's trying to hold in the fact that he's got this crime, and then the tech bro is haunting him in his dreams. I do not want to go any further.
Okay.
Because Mickey Reese's movies twist in such a way that the more you tell about what happens, the more you give away the story, and you have to sort of like creep into the story and let the story creep into you. Let's just say that it is a techno thriller, and I'll just say this: there is a great reference to Blade Runner 2049. I'll just leave it at that. He
All
just
right.
does like a great little scene to add. And so Mickey Reese. Look him up. I want to say the last movie he was at the festival with was Agnes, which is a nun possession movie. Half of it is a nun possession movie, and then the other half is the interesting part, which is what happens to victims or people who have gone through supernatural experiences and then have to continue life when it's just normal.
What happens after
What
the
happens
exorcism?
after this? Yeah, what do you do then when you have to like live with it, and go on and try and have relationships? He's a filmmaker I think people need to follow now. Because I believe he's a future Sean Baker. He's going to be one of
Okay.
these guys that it's going to be one movie that's going to drop, and they're going to go, oh, Mickey Reese, the auteur, so and so, and I'm going to be standing there like, yeah,
The overnight sensation has been doing it for 20 years.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
I think he has that potential. Also, let me just say he happened to have won this movie the best feature of the festival. So
Very
just to give
cool.
it a little extra boost there.
What's the next one you got?
The next one I got is New Group. This one is out of Japan. Yuta Shimutsu, writer-director of New Group. The movie he had done before was Best Wishes to All. If anybody has seen this movie, you know the greatness of this movie. I'll tell you nothing about that, but go see that one. This new one that he's got, New Group, is about a young girl who's in school, young schoolgirl, who's sort of in between cliques. She's got one best friend, and that's all she has as far as school goes, and it spends the whole day in between classes dodging the different cliques and dodging the different possibilities of where she would necessarily fit in, which she's not necessarily looking to do.
It sounds very John Hughesy.
There's just a touch of that. Meanwhile, at home, the family is trying to get over or not get over the loss of one in the family, and so she's going through a few things, trying to figure out who she is and where she fits. Then one day, she happens to look out in the field. Everyone in class looks out into the field, and there's a student that is in the schoolyard on all fours, hands and knees, frozen. So frozen in place. Two teachers go to investigate the student to see if everything is all right, and everyone goes back to class. When they happen to lose their attention from class and go to look back out into the field, the two teachers who went to go check out the student are also now on all fours next to the student. They call the police. Cop comes, he looks over, they go do something else, they come back. The police officer is now on all fours. And they don't just they're not just lined up now. Now they start to sort of pile up on each other in a sort of cheerleader formation. And the more people that come to investigate the situation, the bigger the pyramid becomes. And
That
it
sounds
becomes
bizarre.
a pyramid. It is absolutely bizarre. I should also mention, in the radio, in the background, they're talking about a strange signal, radio signal, coming from space. Should probably mention that. There's a strange radio signal coming from space. And so it not only is it affecting the kids in the school, it's affecting people who are chasing celebrities. The paparazzi go from becoming just paparazzi to becoming an angry mob. The politicians who are trying to get votes are now out harassing people who are underclass. It starts to take a different forms throughout the society. But then they all get caught up in these strange formations, and the ones who don't acclimate to it, who don't assimilate, are attacked in these very like weird, scary like formations. It's like it's like being attacked by cheerleaders while they're doing the cheers, and they're the it is a very unique movie. It's saying something. There is definitely a message
About conformity
about conformity, about what's happening right now in society. That
that sort of mob mentality
a mob mentality on different levels
and polarization and things like that.
Yeah. It sounds weird and it's spooky. Yes, but you really have to see it for the message.
And do we get any? Is there kills, blood, guts, that kind of thing?
There are some very strange kills, but some of the kills are also sort of bringing in to the fold. Once you're sort of killed, you're then brought into the pyramid of folks. So you're not dead.
That sounds so bizarre, man.
It really is. And another one that I don't want to tell. I've already said too much, but there's also a lot of interesting little plot twists and turns and whatnot.
Let's try to get one more of these in. What do you got next?
Let's go the last one with Karmadonna. I believe it is Serbian in origin, in that it was written by the co-writer of the infamous movie A Serbian Film. The story concerns a woman who is a pregnant woman sitting in the park one day. She gets a phone call by a guy who tells her, "You're going to kill some people for me." She at first is not willing to even go along with this, but he then seems to have the ability to control people through electronics, as it would seem. And so, he shows one of his examples, and he tells the woman, "You're going to do what I say." And he does another little trick, and she's convinced. All right, I'm in on this. Halfway through getting the necessary weapons, the necessary stuff, the man informs her that without saying the actual word, he calls himself Siddhartha, and she refers to him as Buddha at one point. Basically, the man is saying that he's God, and that she has a mission to stop corporations from taking advantage of the Christ that is here. He's sort of like held captive, like this big celebrity in this great big building, and he's been made into a TV show, and he's a guru to make people feel better and all this kind of whatnot. Named Bane.
So Bane is the Christ figure.
Yes.
Okay.
Mind you, the word God and Christ are not mentioned whatsoever
I see.
in this movie.
So he's pointed as like a Messiah, or
it possibly
prophet kind of thing. So the guy who's controlling people is trying to get people.
He's trying to get this woman.
He's trying to get
this pregnant woman
to kill people to free Bane.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Without going any further than that. That is the basic plot of it. The movie does so many twists and turns, and you're never really sure about anything. Even now, we're saying that it's this guy and that guy, but you're never sure.
I see.
But the movie is insane. The ending of this movie everything just goes right. It's incredible. Yeah, Karmadonna. Also, just think about that there's a whole like thing about karma, and a lot of the ways that people die in this movie tend to be based on things that you've done in your life. That that evil that you did. That's how.
What goes around comes around.
What goes around comes around. That's exactly how you're gonna go.
Okay.
Yeah.
It sounds interesting. It sounds
very interesting.
And this whole thing is
very interesting.
This
and
is
it's insane.
Is it in Serbian?
Yeah, but there's subtitles.
Okay.
There are subtitles provided. Though at least from the one I saw, the version I saw.
And
Yeah,
it sounds insane, but
it absolutely is. I will not. I am not sugarcoating it in any way. If you have a thing against graphic violence, maybe not this one.
not the movie for you.
Maybe not the movie for you. But it's very interesting. That I had. It was the closing movie also of the festival. They like to end the festival with a bang. Queens of the Dead started it, and Karmadonna capped it off, and it was insane.
Very cool. Very
pick.
cool. All right, I'm going to wrap up. Thanks for checking this out, man. That was a terrific job on the festival. Really appreciate your coverage. But that's all we got time for today. Thank you for taking this trip down the rabbit hole. For more of our content, you can find reviews and more film festival coverage on the website, norestfortheweekendpodcast.com. Subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcast platform, and you'll find our videos on YouTube, youtube.com/getbehindtherabbit. We do tend to put the videos of the reviews out first before the episode. So if you want to catch that stuff early, subscribe there. I'd like to thank Yasin Lago once again, and a big thanks to our sponsors, BlackMagic Design and the Tonkawa Film Festival. For Behind the Rabbit Productions on the BTRP Media Network, I'm Jason Godbey. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
This is the BTRP Media Network.